Hello everybody and welcome to the Bond Bulletin. The new Bond film finally gains some speed as Bond 26 now officially has a director. It has just been announced today and, drumroll, it will be French-Canadian director Denis Villeneuve. He's the mind behind brooding thrillers, poetic sci-fi epics and some of the most debated endings in modern cinema. But is he truly a master or just stylishly overhyped? Let's look at both sides of the coin. Here are the pros and cons on Denis Villeneuve. Number 1. Visual mastery. Denis Villeneuve doesn't just shoot films, he sculpts light and space. Think of Blade Runner 2049. Kay steps through the radioactive haze of a crumbling Las Vegas, past giant holograms and haunted silence. It's a dystopian cathedral built of orange sand and memory. Or let's take Dune. Remember when we first see the sandworm? It's not just a monster reveal, it's a revelation, shot with so much reverence, you feel like you're witnessing a cosmic deity awaken. Number 2. Philosophical depth. Villeneuve isn't afraid to go deep. In Arrival, time itself becomes nonlinear. The moment Louise realizes the future is happening now isn't just clever storytelling, it's emotionally devastating. The concept of language reshaping perception becomes a metaphor for grief and letting go. Then there's Enemy, where identity shatters like a mirror, and spiders creep in as stand-ins for fear, entrapment, or the mother complex. There's a reason film students are still debating it. Number 3. Genre reinvention. Sicario is technically a cartel thriller, but not in the way Villeneuve frames it. It's operatic dread. That border crossing scene, it's dead quiet. No music, no glamour, just silence, dust, tension, and the knowledge that you've crossed a line, figuratively and literally. In Prisoners, what could have been a standard missing child procedural becomes a descent into obsession, enhanced by rain-drenched frames, moral complexity, and Jake Gyllenhaal blinking like a man barely holding it together. Number 4. Strong collaborations. No film director ever works alone. He elevates and is elevated by the best in the business. Same goes for Denis Villeneuve. Roger Deakins, for example, the cinematography in Blade Runner 2049 is practically a textbook on visual storytelling. The haunting, tactile score in Sicario by Johan Johansson feels like a heartbeat pounding through the desert. And when you give Amy Adams, Timothée Chalamet, or a Hugh Jackman space to explore a role under Villeneuve's direction, the results are career-defining performances. Number 5. Critical acclaim. Let the record show awards speak. Incendies got an Oscar nomination. Arrival racked up 8, including Best Picture. Dune snagged 6 wins at the 2022 Oscars, from cinematography to score. Enemy, that indie fever dream of doppelgangers and arachnids, has earned cult status in film schools. Villeneuve isn't just respected, he's reshaping the modern canon. But now, let's shift the cameras, because even visionaries leave blind spots. Here are the top 5 reasons why Villeneuve often gets criticized. And number 1 is one that is very important to a lot of viewers out there: pacing. And Villeneuve's pacing, sadly, often is very slow. If you've seen one of his films, Denis Villeneuve likes to linger. Blade Runner 2049 opens with a slow, sweeping aerial shot and minimal dialogue. It's beautiful, sure, no doubt, but nearly 3 hours later, some audiences are still waiting for something to explode. Dune? The first 40 minutes are world-building, whispered prophecy and desert wind. Riveting for some, but sadly a sedative for others. Number 2. Emotional distance. The characters in Villeneuve's films very often feel like they are under glass. They're fascinating, but they're very hard to touch. In Enemy, for example, both of Gyllenhaal's characters are deeply withdrawn, nearly devoid of warmth. In Dune, Paul Atreides is more myth than man, burdened, aloof, and unreadable. That works if you love mood over emotion, but it leaves others wanting to connect more deeply. Number 3, overly serious tone. One thing is certain, Villeneuve doesn't do quippy banter. His characters don't crack jokes. They suffer. Again, take Sicario. It is grim from start to finish. Arrival, while hopeful in the end, is steeped in sorrow. And Dune, well, even when Jason Momoa is on screen, there's barely a wink of levity. So if you're looking for charm or cheeky fun, Villeneuve may not RSVP to that party. Number 4, narrative ambiguity. Nowhere is this clearer than in Enemy. One man, two lives. Or one fractured psyche. A recurring spider. A jarring final scene. Then, blackout. Villeneuve has said he wanted it to feel like a subconscious dream. Mission accomplished, because half the audience walked out puzzled and the other half started Reddit threads. For many, the lack of closure is exhilarating. For others, it's an unanswered question that doesn't earn its ask. Number 5, style over substance. In Blade Runner 2049, you could argue that the visuals outshine the heart of the film. Yes, Kay is on a journey of self-discovery, but the long takes, minimalist script, and slow progression can make that arc feel very muted. And then we have Dune, which spends enormous energy building its world, and in the process, we lose intimacy with its characters. The scale is monumental, but do we feel what they feel? That's the critique. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. Denis Villeneuve, Bond director. Bold genius or shaken misfit? Let's weigh it out. Number 1, visual grandeur. Picture Bond in a Villeneuve film. Sweeping wide shots of European rooftops, fog rolling over Icelandic valleys, and a villain lair lit by harsh blue light. Villeneuve would redefine how Bond looks like. And with his world-building skill, even a casino in Montenegro might feel ancient ritual. Number 2, philosophical depth. Villeneuve's Bond might wrestle with more than just the usual villains. He might tackle fate, legacy, conscience, and instead of fighting evil masterminds, he would be asking, am I becoming one? We would get a 007 who reflects as much as he reloads. Number 3, a fresh take on action. Remember Sicario's border convoy? The quiet build-up, the burst of violence? Villeneuve doesn't go for bombast. He makes the action feel earned. A Bond shootout in his hands would be probably less spectacle, more psychological chess. Number 4, franchise passion. Bond isn't a paycheck gig for Villeneuve, far from it. He said in interviews that the James Bond films were sacred in his childhood home, and it's that reverence that could lead to a film that honors the classic formula while still innovating. Number 5, A+ collaborators. As I said before, directors never work alone. It's the team that makes the effort and that makes a great film. And Villeneuve, being the great director that he is, can pick from almost anyone. And he can build his own cinematic dream squad to make Bond a success. And like before, the other side of the coin, here are 5 reasons why Villeneuve might not be the best fit for 007. Number 1, pacing problems. Bond needs urgency. Villeneuve loves the slow burn. A 3-hour Bond film, where the first hour is 007 staring into a martini glass, might not really thrill the masses. Number 2, missing the charm. Bond is suave and debonair. He's seductive. He quips. Villeneuve's protagonists don't. There is a danger that Villeneuve's Bond could turn into a silent brooder in a bespoke suit, which might alienate fans who love the character for his flair. Number 3, the risk of over-stylization. We all love a sleek title sequence, don't we? But there is a fine line between stylish and self-indulgent. Villeneuve might trade Bond gadgets for surreal symbolism. Martini metaphors, anyone? Number 4, formula friction. Bond films have structure. Villeneuve breaks structure. And it's that tension that could lead to either reinvention or resentment. Studios like reliability. Villeneuve likes risks. Number 5, hard to balance old and new. Can you keep the Bond magic and inject Villeneuve's cerebral tone? That's the tightrope. Nail it and it's cinematic gold. Miss it and it's a beautiful bore. So there you have it, Denis Villeneuve, the new director of Bond 26. A director who is as cheered as he is debated, and he's the auteur who could turn Bond into a work of art or a moody fever dream in a tuxedo. Let's wait and see. I would really love to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section. I read all of the comments and I respond to most of them. I really like the exchange. And tell me your thoughts. Would you like to see a James Bond who trades bullets for existentialism? Or do you want him back in his newest Aston Martin, dodging bullets and sharks? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, have a very great day. My name is Benjamin Lind. This is the Bond Bulletin. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Bye-bye. Have a great day.